idea. A single idea from the human mind can build cities. An idea can transform the world and rewrite all the rules. Which is why I have to steal it.
Never recreate from your memory. Always imagine new places.
He's hiding something, and we need to find out what that is.
We gotta break out of here. Give him the kick! This was not a part of the plan!
Wake me up! Wake me up!
Today, we're finally getting around to doing a review of Christopher Nolan's latest movie, Inception.
It's a masterpiece, is more like it.
Alright, the movie's been out for 3 weeks, and we finally have enough strength,
brain power,
coherent evidence, and thought to do this review.
Because this movie drains you.
This movie will beat you.
Will beat you harder than Chris Brown beat me. Premise of the movie: Leonardo DiCaprio's character Cobb is a security officer of sorts. He specializes in dreams, where he goes into people's dreams and extracts the information that he wants. But in this movie, Leonardo DiCaprio must muster up a team and must implant an idea inside someone's head, so inside their subconscious. He does that with a team. Ellen Page's character, Ariadne,
is the architect.
Tom Hardy, and his character's name is
DC.
Okay.
And he's the forger.
There's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who plays Arthur.
Who plays the point man. Yusuf.
Oh, there's Yusuf,
who I can't remember who's the actor's name.
He's one of the scientists from Avatar.
There's Saito, who's just the tourist. Oh, and then there's Leonardo DiCaprio, who's the exchange.
Oh, right.
Or in this one, he's the Inceptor.
There's so much going on in this movie.
Yeah.
The biggest influences for this movie are probably
the Matrix.
The one that's most notable is the
Matrix.
Well, then there's also stuff from like Space Odyssey 2000.
Space Odyssey.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
A sci-fi movie called Dark City. Blade Runner.
Christopher Nolan knows how to pull a lot of strings in certain ways so that it doesn't look like he's completely ripping off films, like how other movies would do something like that. It makes it, what he does makes it look like he's just doing really good homages to them.
He does really do it in a very flawless way. I mean, you have to give him credit for writing this. He wrote this. He's been writing this for 8 years.
8 years.
8 years. This movie has been in just the right.
This was his favorite to WB because he made the last 2 Batman films like some of the highest grossing superhero films to be made. And then he's like, I'm just gonna do this one for fun, you guys.
I love how Chris Nolan can make a movie for fun and
it'd still be awesome.
Amazing.
You can't really say much without giving it away. I mean, you can definitely say that after watching this movie, you will feel probably.
You will take things in
a different sense.
Yeah, in a different kind of mindset. You will think not as you would usually think. It's really hard to explain. When you come out, you'll feel more surreal. You'll when I did it, I felt like a lot very surreal and like everything was taken in.
The whole way that they show everything, because like when they go into dreams, it's almost like, you know, it's like jacking into the Matrix. But then once they're in dreams, they can go into more levels of the subconscious. The biggest thing that people will like about this movie is the way that it makes you feel when you walk out of it.
The movie's open to interpretation, like
it's nobody's business.
And we have literally argued what the ending is since we saw the movie at midnight the day it came out. Anyways, who's your favorite character?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Hands down, Arthur was my favorite character.
Why?
Just because he was so like he was mellow and he was just like cool about everything. Like the kiss with Ellen Page.
It was genius. I really liked Leonardo DiCaprio's character just because he was very fleshed out and detailed and his character was full of depth, and I mean, everything about him, he was just like a perfect protagonist.
My favorite character, I'm gonna have to go a different route than all of you and say Tom Hardy's character as seen was my favorite character in this film.
Looks like we're all rooting for somebody to play the Joker.
Apparently. But we all want the main three actors to play the Riddler. But Tom Hardy in this movie, I thought he was amazing. I thought he was hilarious. I thought he really had the funniest moments in this movie, but he also kept it a serious tone. And the chemistry, that like the relationship sort of thing that was happening between him and Arthur Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character.
Just a little
I
bit
was kind of that, like,
back when he was like leaning on the chair, he's like, "What's a kick?" And he like flicks his leg and he like falls forward.
The little quips in between the two I thought were hilarious. Like when they're being attacked in the first level of the dream, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's just shooting at them with like an M16, and a scene comes up, Tom Hardy's character, he just comes up with the grenade launcher. He's like, "You can't be afraid to dream a little bit bigger, darling." What else can we talk about?
the score.
Scored by
Hans Zimmer.
What
What Hans Zimmer did
amazing
with
score yet again.
there's one song that they play throughout the film called, I'm gonna butcher this title. It's Knowledge and Nom Regrets and Neon.
Oh, is that
That's
the kick song?
It's the French song that they use to signify that a kick's happening. And what Hans Zimmer did with the main theme, Time, is he took that song and slowed it down by about 300% to get a basic beat, and that's what he used. That's how he composed the main song. Every other song in this movie is amazing. The only main problem I had, I didn't have it the first time I saw it. The second time I saw it, I did notice it. But Act 2 or Act 3. Well, Act 2 or 3, where they're explaining what the main plan is for Fisher. It sort of does drag out like a tiny bit. Like you feel like, oh, this is boring. Not really boring, but this isn't like.
Yeah, there are parts of the second act that
some of it's really cool, some of it's eh. Then there's also a really cool fight scene in the fourth act that involves Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zero Gravity.
You've probably seen it in the trailers. You've heard people talk about it.
If you've seen A Space Odyssey, then you will recognize where he got the inspiration for this idea. It's a really well done fight scene that takes place in not really a free fall environment, but like in what space would be, and what they use for it. And
wait, you're talking about the zero gravity fight, or the fight that he has when the hallway is literally
no, that's the hotel room. There's another fight in the hotel room that takes place before this, where they're in a hotel room that's constantly spinning because a van is tumbling, because the van that they're in the previous dream is tumbling down a hill. So what's happening in Joseph Gordon-Levitt's dream is that everything's tumbling around, so the hotel room is constantly rotating, and he's having a fight scene with this one guy in the hotel room. And the way it's shot is absolutely fantastic.
The camera stays positioned in one corner of the room, and it shows these characters fight from the floor to the wall to the ceiling. They basically do a circle, and you see them tumbling from one wall to the next, and the camera just stays in one spot. Oh my god, it was really awesome. It was that alone was worth going to see in the IMAX.
Oh my god, yeah.
There's nothing really there's nothing really we can say about this movie without giving away too much. You want to do ratings?
Yeah.
Alright. Daniels, what do you think about the film?
I give this movie, I was so excited that I'm lost for words. Like, I really can't put into words how good this movie was. It was damn near perfect. Like, if I gave it like a number system, like out of 100, I'd give it like a 99.5. Like, there was almost nothing wrong with it. The only thing that I had a problem with was in the second act when they were like just talking about like what they had to do, and it was a tiny bit draggy. That was like the 0.5 deduction. Everything else was flawless. I loved it. So
Mike Aller.
Yeah, this movie is near perfect for me. It took me 3 weeks to actually decide what I like better, Dark Knight or Inception. I still think Dark Knight is better just because there was a part of Inception that, like we said, Act 2 does drag a little bit, but Acts 1, 3, 4, and 5 are just flawless. So while for me it's just not as good as The Dark Knight, like a little bit, it was still such an amazing film. Like I love being able to go to the movies and immerse myself in the universe that the director tries to show the viewer, and everything from scenery, cinematography, the acting, the story, the music. This movie, either of these guys will tell you, I was so excited I freaking broke the seat.
Literally. Jumped up on the seat like this. It was like, ah!
Don't do that so much.
Sorry, but it was funny.
I was so excited that I shook Matt Benoit in excitement.
I'm gonna have to give this movie golf clap because it was okay. I was like,
Don't be full of shit, man. Just say it.
I was so excited I kicked over a shopping cart.
Oh, that's right. And some guy was like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Shut up, Ninja Sons."
I left the film needing to hit something.
Dude, it was so good.
I was 18 needing to hit something, so I was like, you needed to obliterate something when you left Inception.
I needed something to be destroyed. That's how good this movie was. I needed something to be destroyed so this movie could take its spot as current best thing in the world.
This movie is currently the best thing in the world.
It really is.
That's all I wanted to say about it was I thought like I said, like these guys said, I drew back a little. I didn't notice it the first time. The first time I saw it, I would have been like, this movie is by far the greatest thing I've ever seen. The second time I started picking out little things and I was like, I know I'm doing this just because I've seen the movie before. But regardless, this movie
I'm glad you did that though.
This movie is definitely worth paying full price to go and see.
It's worth paying IMAX full price to go see. Which is
So we didn't even pay IMAX full price, we paid $6.
$6 Tuesday, IMAX.
Go see it in IMAX.
We're sponsored by IMAX.
Alright, there's been another A2D review. I'm Matt.
I'm Howard.
I'm Daniels.
And you've just been A2D'd.
There's one thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security. You're talking about dreams.
Mr. Cobb has a job offer he would like to discuss with you.
Like a work placement?
Not exactly. We create the world of the dream. We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
Then you break in and steal it.
Well, it's not strictly speaking legal. It's called Inception. Already. I think I found a way home. And this last job, that's how I get there. Dreams feel real while we're in them. It's only when we wake up that we realize something is actually strange.
This was your responsibility! We are not prepared for this!
The dream's collapsing.
I have it under control. I need to see out of control.
You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.